Hello, I was recording part 3 and then I got stuck. And it was a little embarrassing, so I figured it out. It was a stupid issue. This is where the program's currently at. We have Bouncing Dave. Dave is managed by a class. So let's actually get started on making a million Daves. Although we will only make 512 for now. First thing we need to do is we need to make an array. An array will keep track of all of the day variables. Otherwise, if we couldn't use an array or some other type of mass storage thing like a list or a vector, vector is a C++ thing. They're called array lists in processing, but we won't use that right now. You would have to copy paste Dave like hundreds and hundreds of times, and then you have to name each one differently, and we don't want to do that. So let's type entity, and then let's put square brackets. That means it's an array. Friends, I'm going to name the array friends equals new entity. But instead of doing this smooth brackets, we're going to do the curly ones instead of parentheses. 512. So we made an array of entities named friends that can hold 512 pieces. Now, in order to load up this array, because right now it's a bunch of empty entities, they're not loaded. If we try to access them, it'll crash the program. Like, here I'll show you. If we do friend dot display, we need to say which one. Let's do number 42. And if you do friends 42 dot display, it will crash. Similarly, just checking to make sure it's working. Yeah, it is. If we commented out this line, it will also crash. That's the same problem, but we don't want to copy paste this a million times, so we need to do a loop. So let's do a for loop. For loop starts with the word for. Then you do int I. I can be anything, but I is the traditional variable to use for loops. I equals 0. That means the loop starts at number 0. I is less than 512. That means the loop goes all the way up to 512, and then it will stop. And then I plus plus. That means every time the loop runs, I goes up by 1. So this is where it starts. This is how far it goes. This is how far it takes in each step. Alright, so friends, for the number, we're going to say I equals new entity, and then we're going to say random 0 width, random 0 height. This will place it randomly about the screen. And then let's uncomment this, and now we should have 2 Daves. Yes, one of them is in the friends loop, one of them is not. Let's uncomment the Dave that isn't, or comment out. Now we just have the one Dave. But what if we do this loop for if we're only going to show one? So let's make another loop. We can just copy paste this. And instead of 512, we're actually going to say friends.length. 1 second, will that crash? Okay, no, it's working fine. Sometimes you have to do length -1, depends on what language you're using. So, friends.length, And we change this to I. Note, I only exists inside the for loop. So I over here is different from I over here. Anyways, now we should have 512 Daves, all bouncing around independently. And as you can see, some of them seem to have gotten stuck on the bottom of the screen. It's okay. We can fix that easily by changing the random values. Width minus, what was it, 82, I think? Oh, it's 84. And height minus 100. Now, there we go. But what would we want to stop at 512? I promised you a million Daves. Let's do a million Daves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, there might be issues with this. And let's make these floats. Yeah, that is the issue. I don't think you can safely store a million in an array because ints only go so high. What's the max value? Int max value. The processing is Java based, so let's search for Java. Oh, integer has a maximum value of 2 billion. We should be in the clear, but we ran out of RAM. There is not enough space on my... It's a Java thing. Processing doesn't know how to access enough space to run a million Daves, but we can change that. Increase maximum size of available memory to have 4 gigabytes. I want a million Daves. I'm waiting. I'm curious. Oh, it's going up there. Maybe a million was a bad idea. I know why, actually. It's because every time we make a new entity, it loads up another copy of Dave.png. And how big is Dave.png? 4 kilobytes. So that'd be 40 million kilobytes. So divide that by 1,000. Oh, it would pretty much take 4 gigs to load up this many Dave PNGs. Anyways, let's move the image outside of the variable. So let's put p-image, let's name it image Dave. Let's take this out and put it in setup. Load image. And then down here, we say image Dave. This will make it so it doesn't have to store an individual copy for each copy. And there we go. That was much faster. There's 1 million Daves running at a sweet 2 or 3 frames per second on my supercomputer. How much memory is it taking up now? Now it's only taking about 100 megabytes, which is very much an acceptable amount. Oop, and I just killed it. I thought that was a zombie process. Yeah, this is why I don't make professional videos. I mess up every time. Open Homestuck Friends. Well, that sucks. I don't like the way processing decides to not save your stuff for you. I will... Well, that's the end of video 3, and I will bring all of this back for video 4, and we will do one final thing to make it more interesting. We'll add some interaction to it.